Is Valorant dying?
There are three main reasons why I think Valorant is dying.
And why is Valorant dying?
Valorant dying is probably something you heard since 2021, but this time you actually feel it.
A game that was once regarded as a breath of fresh air has now become filled with criticizing posts from the community, with players quitting left and right. With so many complaints coming in every day, it's clear that Valorant's player base is on the decline and the game is nearing its final days. Right?
I think Valorant's dying.
Let's take a trip back to 2020. Specifically April of 2020. The entire world had just been forced into a lockdown and Riot's new game was just on the horizon.
Project A is our character-based tactical shooter. It's competitive. It has precise gunplay.
Both the game's closed beta and official release ushered in a newfound excitement for the gameplay Valorant provided. Despite not yet being global, millions of players poured in on a daily basis, and for good reason, because to say Valorant was enjoyable would honestly be an understatement.
Oh my god,
Dude!
You're actually
Get hot.
However, not only was Valorant fun, but Riot would communicate well with the player base, which formed a sort of bond between the two. Concerns and questions would get direct responses from developers, Q&As would pop up on a regular basis, and bugs would be patched rather quickly. Furthermore, content would continue to drop on a consistent basis, and the community's hype for new maps, agents, and skins was so extreme that it was almost palpable. Unfortunately, this wouldn't last long. As the years would tick by, the hype for new content would die down, the release of new agents, maps, and game modes would become few and far between, and Valorant's Q&As, along with their consistent communication with the player base, would be wiped off the face of the earth. Soon after, posts would begin popping up regarding the game's death. It seemed like the community finally had enough of Riot's incompetence and were now dropping the game. Queue times started getting longer, Twitch viewership numbers began dropping, and content creators stopped uploading. With so much negativity now surrounding the game, it's obvious the player count would be on a rapid decline. Except, that's just not true. Although Riot doesn't reveal the game's player count themselves, the information is easily attainable via tracker.gg, and according to the website's developer, they track everyone. So it's realistically the most accurate number we can get at the moment. With that being said, Valorant's player count as of January 18, 2025 is a staggering 5.5 million. Keep in mind, this isn't how many players are on at the same time, but rather how many logged in during that date. Finding out the game's concurrent players is a bit more difficult, as pretty much every website says something different. Regardless, 5.5 million is far from dead, and according to a statement by Riot themselves, Valorant is played by over 35 million players per month on PC alone. Not to mention, the game has already expanded to console and is likely to get a mobile version very soon. Furthermore, taking a look at the top 10 most watched categories on Twitch in 2023, Valorant ranked 5th place, beating popular games like Minecraft, Fortnite, and even Counter-Strike. Also, before you ask why I'm showing the 2023 statistics instead of the 2024 ones, that's because those are locked behind a paywall. Regardless, if the game isn't actually dying, then why are there so many posts claiming that it is? Well, in truth, posts like Valorant is dying aren't actually even exclusive to Valorant. If you take a step back, people questioning a game's death is actually pretty common. Is Counter-Strike dying? Is Apex dying? League is actually dying. Do you think Overwatch is dying? How long until we see the same BS is Marvel Rivals dying videos on YouTube? What's even more crazy is that not even a month after Valorant's official release, people were already claiming that the game was dead. Taking a look at the Overwatch post mentioned earlier, one Reddit user sums it up well. This is the kind of thing you hear from younger gamers. Once you've been around for a while, you realize that every single game hits a peak shortly after release and then dwindles down over time. If a game is successful enough, it simply continues on in perpetuity with a stable player base. Games don't really need vast player bases to receive continued support, they just need a few 100,000. CSGO, Team Fortress 2, Dota, League of Legends, Minecraft, Fortnite, PUBG, Apex Legends, even games like Rust or Stellaris, essentially the large staples of gaming. These are are all games long past their initial peaks, but they continue on. They found their footing, and that's fantastic. But younger gamers often believe a game has died for everyone just because they've lost interest themselves. There's a sort of observational dissonance with the purely black/white state. It's either peak or it's dead, with no in between. But if Valorant still has a healthy player count and continues to pull in crazy numbers on Twitch, then why does it seem like content creators are constantly claiming that the game is dead? Let's be real. You already know the answer. If you hadn't guessed already, the answer is views, and nothing sells better than drama and negativity. Videos that invoke any sort of negative emotion tend to draw more attention, and thus bring in hundreds of thousands of views. It's just human nature. For those already bored of the game, these videos serve as a sort of confirmation bias, making people feel understood and validated in their opinion about the game. For those who are still enjoying the game, it invokes a sense of worry and curiosity, thus leading to another click. Speaking of click, we're currently on our way to 3,000 subscribers, so if you could click that subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Now, this isn't to say that Valorant is perfect by any means. For what it's worth, these videos do bring up some valid points about the state of the game that we'll go into later. Also, by no means am I claiming that my channel isn't sometimes guilty of the same tactic. However, even then, I try to keep my videos as objective as possible. The main problem with all this doesn't have to do with pointing out Valorant's issues. If anything, providing constructive criticism is probably one of the best things we as a community can do. The issue comes with consistently perpetuating a false narrative. All it does is make people spew more negativity and brings worry to those who are still enjoying the game. I've been seeing stuff online, such as YouTube videos talking about the downfall of the game and how they brought it over to console because of how bad it's doing. I'm having fun with the game, so I hope it's not doing poorly. So no, Valorant isn't dying, and you've fallen for the equivalent of 1910's war propaganda. However, despite the game's healthy player count, it has grown a bit stale. About 1 week ago, I made a poll asking the community if they thought Valorant was dying. Out of 440 votes, 27% claimed it was dying, 13% claimed it wasn't dying, while 58% claimed that it wasn't dying, but it was getting boring/stale. And honestly, it's true. Without a doubt, the game does need more content, more game modes, a replay system, maybe even community servers. However, for whatever reason, it seems like Riot tends to be really slow when it comes to adding features the community actually wants. It's honestly a bit depressing to look back at the game's beta and see how well the dev team used to communicate with the player base. However, the only thing the community can do is continue to advocate for the changes they want to see. Except when it comes to skin prices. I promise you, Riot is never changing those. It's been expensive since day one. But take a look at the replay system. Players began asking for a replay system under Valorant's social media on a consistent basis, and although we didn't get a replay system, we did get an update on it, which provides the most information we've received in a long time. I truly believe that the community advocating is what got us that update, proving that the community does in fact have some power. Agree on an issue, advocate for it, and force Riot to make some sort of change. If you still enjoy playing Valorant, then by all means continue to do so and try to avoid any claims about the game dying. If you've reached a point where Valorant just isn't as fun anymore, then lucky for you, there's one simple solution. Take a fucking break. Go touch grass, go play Marvel Rivals instead, and go read a book. Okay, in all seriousness though, taking a break is really the only thing you as a player can do. It's likely the most common solution to this problem, but it's the most common because it'll probably work. You have to understand that Valorant has been out for almost 5 years, and even if you haven't been playing since release, the same gameplay loop can only be entertaining for so long. This isn't to say that you shouldn't continue to advocate for the changes you want Riot to make. You can take a break while still doing that. However, there isn't much point in forcing yourself to play a game that you don't even enjoy. It's super cliche, but it really is just the reality of things. I personally took a long break from Valorant, but after coming back and playing a few games of competitive, I did find it pretty enjoyable. Advocate for the changes you want to see, but don't be afraid to take a break from the game in the meantime and come back once it feels more fresh or once Riot have finally added the features you want. So drop the game for a bit, play Marvel Rivals, start up that 2-week Minecraft phase, or just do anything else you actually enjoy. Once you're finally ready to come back to Valorant, just know there will still be a thriving community and player base waiting for you. If you enjoyed this video, a sub would be greatly appreciated as we're currently on our way to 3,000 subscribers. I'd also like to hear your thoughts about the state of the game, so feel free to leave a comment below. With that, thank you so much for watching and take care.